Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing okay. Thank you for all the lovely well wishes I had regarding my last video and to do with my mum. We've got to wait until the surgeons can come back to decide what they're going to do really, whether they think it's safe to operate or whether it's just better to leave it. Mum's doing okay. She's a bit up and down. I suppose what would any of us be like if we told we've got a grenade in our head? That's pretty much the equivalent of it, that could go off whenever. But I've heard from several of you that have actually gone through this condition and you survived it perfectly fine, and you've had, you know, obviously surgery and stuff, so that was a massive bit of support for me, so thank you very much. I do love the little community that we have. I love the fact that we've got such a good bunch of people from all over the world that just talk to each other, so keep it up guys. So, finding freedom sank faster than the Titanic. There was one moment where I was unsure what was going on. I thought the world had actually gone sort of insane. It was the Amazon reviews. They were literally like 1.5 stars when Finding Freedom came out. It got panned. It was just pages and pages and pages of negative reviews. Rightly so. And then I looked on it, it got up to 4.5 stars out of 5. There were glowing reviews. Well, it turns out that Meghan and Harry's fan base have been so desperate to make this book a bestseller. They've been putting on lots of fake reviews, bless them. Amazon have now caught on to this and they have stopped it, so it's only people that have made genuine purchases, but I'm sure that won't stop a few of the crazies just from keep buying it. But I just thought, oh, that's bad. And when you've got to get your own fan base to kind of leave positive reviews because your book, well, Meghan's memoirs have gone down like a lead balloon. Oh, as I said before, I just love to be a fly on the wall in Buckingham Palace. So what do the duo do when they've got really bad press and bad media? They wheel out Archie, or they do some charity work. So we haven't seen them do charity work for some time, and to be honest with you, as you can gather by the title of this video, the Humanitarians, the self-proclaimed humanitarians, I mean, who does that anyway? It's like, I'm a humanitarian. You either are or you're not. It's not a job title. So they've rocked up in LA to help out at a baby-to-baby charity group that helps families that are struggling, especially with what's been going on worldwide, to help their kids, like with uniform, new backpacks, like starting back up at school, nappies for babies and stuff. So really good charity. But, and I digress, but this video has got nothing to do with me bad-mouthing the charity. As I said, I think it's absolutely wonderful what all these volunteers do. But I think it's just one big PR stunt, and I'll tell you why. It's been reported that Baby to Baby is a very celebrity endorsed charity, which is great, but it's, you know, Hollywood mums and stuff. So I feel like Meghan has gone to that particular charity just because it earns her sort of brownie points with the Mummy Baby Club of the Hollywood set, which we know she's probably desperate to join. Now, alarmingly, blind gossip has come out, and to be honest with you, most of the blind gossips that I've read about this couple do seem to be true, and he does seem to have a lot of information that sometimes, okay, it's already come out in the newspaper, then a blind comes up, but other times there has been stuff that's definitely come true. Now, they have said that Harry and Meghan asked for Baby to Baby, the charity, to pay for their private jet. As I said, this is down to speculation. We don't have actual solid proof, but do I believe it? Yes, I do absolutely believe it, just because of previous behaviours with Meghan and with Harry. Obviously, the charity has said no, so Harry and Meghan have picked up the tab. But if you think how much a private jet, bearing in mind, Montecito and LA are 1.5 hours to 2 hours drive away. Obviously, they've got the huge security team, they've got the security vehicles, they'd be chauffeured. It's not like they'd have to sit there and moan being caught up in traffic and stuff. They literally could have driven there in that space of time. Ever the eco warriors, aren't they? You know, saving that one carbon footprint at a time. No, it's just the rest of us that need to save the planet. They're fine. So real humanitarians already at this point, if they really wanted to help at that charity and give out, you know, go buy a car, the money that you saved that you were going to spend on a private jet, donate that to the charity. Can you imagine how much stuff that would buy? As for the other celeb mums that have endorsed this charity before, I've never seen photographs of them where they've rocked up with their own personal photographer posting how fabulous they are helping out. You know, you do have a lot of people that are in Hollywood, Oprah included. Whilst I'm not a massive fan of Oprah, she does donate a lot of her own money. I don't see Harry and Meghan really donating. They encourage other people to donate. You know, obviously their fan base will build up charity for them and stuff. But as I said, for humanitarians that want to help the world, I don't actually see them dipping their hands in their own pocket. They just keep telling us what we need to do. So let's go back to the photographer. They've rocked up at this charity event with their own personal photographer. They have copyrighted the pictures. Very limited number of pictures got released, but obviously because it's been copyrighted to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, that means that Harry and Meghan can sell those pictures and make money for, you've guessed it, themselves. And obviously the photographer's probably got a slice of it as well. But my point being is, who goes to a charity event with their own photographer, poses for pictures? Now, you cannot tell me these pictures are natural. First up, we have a shot of Meghan with her hair down, leaning through a car window with Harry in the background. Next, we have an identical shot, it's a different car, with Meghan leaning forward with her hair tied back, with Harry again in the background, such is Harry's life these days. But one of the things that was brought to my attention by another eagle-eyed Twitter user, managed to spot the mask, actually the logo at the side is royal jelly. Now, you guys will probably remember when Megxit was declared and Harry and Meghan did their nasty little list, a nasty letter to the Queen, we demand this, we expect this, we want this. The Queen doesn't own the word royal. Part of her argument was that there are several products out there in the world that have the word royal on them. So do we think this is Meghan sticking two fingers up at the Queen? I do, don't you? So Harry is also clearly over his aversion to photographers. You remember, every time he hears a camera click, it gives him that PTSD reaction of where it takes him back to what it was like when his mum was around, and it makes him sad. Obviously, he's over that, and judging by this kid's face that he's obviously trying to entertain, that kid feels how the rest of the world feels. Over it. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. People have obviously been inquiring after Harry and Meghan, and someone has approached the charity. Now, there is a user on the Daily Mail called Waggy Quack, and I have taken their comment from this. A spokesperson for the charity Baby to Baby was approached, and they were asked about Harry's and Meghan's involvement in this charity. The response they had was fairly interesting. None until today. We got a call from their PR team to ask if they could turn up and help out. They showed up with a photographer, took a couple of shots of them passing stuff through car windows, and then they were gone. 10 minutes. So they turned up for 10 minutes. There's also been other people who have found on social media where they have been speaking to people that were at the event. As I said, this is all second and third hand information, but apparently people, the volunteers and various people were told to not approach or speak to Meghan and Harry unless they do it first. Where have we heard that before? Do you remember the list of demands that went round for the Frogmore neighbours? But that wasn't Harry and Meghan, that was their particular staff at the time. You can see from the pictures, as I said, they're very limited, they're posed. You know, Meghan's doing her typical merchant, all of her outfit turned up on Meghan's mirror straight away. And the fact that these volunteers, the people that actually dedicate their free time, they don't get paid, they certainly don't arrive on private jets, they're not actually standing around with them, chatting with them, having pictures with them or anything. So Harry and Meghan reportedly turned up for just 10 minutes. So why, being the humanitarians that they are, would they do this? We know from previous history with Meghan, when she went to Mayhew Dog Shelter, she was supposed to be reportedly there for 10 minutes, you know, when she had that huge bump in that Kardashian dress. And she stayed for 10 minutes and had her photos done and left. She did the same when she did a plaque opening ceremony. I've got a little clip here, actually. You've got to see it to believe it. So she gets a round of applause for pulling the curtain open, then they come over to her and present her with a present. Pretty much immediately, Meghan turns around and says, once the photos have been taken, with the gentleman still stood there after giving her this gift, can you go get my coat?
Photos from... Thanks, Tony. Photos from the show, the variety show.
Oh, how fantastic.
Of the people that you met.
Thank you. Oh, that's very
Thanks so
special.
much
Thank
again.
you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Should I just grab my coat?
Yes.
No manners, no class. That is shocking, isn't it? I mean, well, I say shocking, but is it really that shocking? Meghan comes in, she gets the shots that she wants, and then she's done. You know, it's the same with Lady Colin Campbell's book to do with Harry and Meghan, The Real Story. They turned up, you know, people were puzzled for ages, weren't they? Why did they turn up to Charles's golden party and leave pretty much immediately, about 10-15 minutes? Well, as it turns out, that was because Meghan was openly telling people out loud, well, Harry, but out loud in front of guests, how bored she was and she wanted to leave. So Charles apparently got wind of this and turned around and said, we'll see you later on. But this is a woman that gave up everything and tried her absolute hardest. So for me to believe that Harry and Meghan turned up at this charity to get the promo shots just to improve their reputation, which is in freefall at the moment with the Finding Freedom book, yeah, it's highly likely. But I think they did it for another reason. And as you know, my videos are called According to Taz, so this is my opinion. Now imagine, just say for example, Meghan wants to go to LA to go shopping. Meghan wants to go see some of her rich friends in LA, her new friends. She wants to showboat, she wants to arrive by private jet. She doesn't want to drive there. Oh my God, that's too menial, that's for paupers, right? So the charity turned around and said, no, we're not paying for your private jet. Absolutely disgusted that they would even dream of asking a charity that they're supposedly going to help out. But the fact that they did go to a charity, they can write the flight off as a business expense. You know, they're supposed to be doing charitable causes. So I personally think Meghan has gone, right, okay, probably from advice by some, you know, accountants and stuff that know what other rich people do to do these kind of avoidance and write-offs and stuff, you know, writing off business expenses. So Meghan wants to get a private jet to go visit friends in LA. So what she does is scour Google, see if there's any charities that are doing any sort of drives, because there's lots of them that go on around LA on a regular basis, and gone baby to baby. So that's why they rang up. That's why the charity hadn't heard from them, wanted to help out before. They rang up on the same day. They turned up with photographer, stayed 10 minutes or an hour, depending on where you read it. Either way, not great. And left. So they can then write off that private jet travel to charity costs, or whatever costs, you know, it can get basically absorbed up in their multiple LLCs and God knows what else that they've set up. So there you go. That's why I think they did it. That's why I think they only turned up for a short amount of time, didn't want people to speak to them. Because Meghan, like many people have said, it's supposed to be based on like the Clinton Foundation business model. I admit I don't know too much about it, but where there's lots of charities that do this and stuff, and foundations where they live the life of Riley, but what they do is they put it all to charitable business expenses because they've gone and visited a charity at some point that day. So you can write off going to the Ivy and stuff because you've had a business meeting there. There's lots and lots of loopholes in all countries, but this is exactly what I think they're up to. So I think baby to baby, whilst it did get some extra coverage, which is great, that's the only positive that Harry and Meghan seem to bring to these charities. They do get a bit of coverage in the newspapers, but it's all for the wrong reasons in one way, because the charities aren't getting mass donations. Harry and Meghan have not donated to them. Harry and Meghan have turned up to make money for themselves. So if you truly think that they're humanitarians, I've got a bridge to sell you. So that's it for this video. I am going to be covering Meghan's kind of dabbling into politics. I promise it won't be a boring video, and I will be back with you guys tomorrow. So take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typist, you will be blocked, so save your fingers for time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.